Good morning. I am Bryant, Carpenter, sports editor of the Meriden Record-Journal, alongside my right-hand man, Mr. Sean Krofssik. Sean, it goes without saying, kid, I missed you last week for this week in high school sports. Sean was down in Baton Rouge making his Zydeco Fusion Punk album. Shawnee, how'd it go?
It went great. I did miss everyone here back in Meriden, though. Thanks for holding down the fort and filling the role for me.
Of course, Shawnee.
Yeah.
Hey, man, when a musician's got to hit the studio, I understand. Folks, we had a great week in high school sports, and Shawnee did get back in time for this to help out. Ken Lipschitz with the coverage. We had Platt and Maloney meeting in boys and girls soccer and volleyball on Monday. It was just a manic Monday. And then on Tuesday, we had Lyman Hall and Sheehan soccer doubleheader. We also had Lyman Hall Sheehan playing in field hockey and volleyball. Of course, you were there, Sean, to see the field hockey and the volleyball. The field hockey actually was pretty cool. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Stephanie Phoenix was in the middle of all three goals. She scored 2 in the first half. Lyman Hall answered with 2 in a 10-second span in the second half. And then we had the game winner with just under a minute to go in the game. So that was a thrilling finish at Riccatelli Field.
That's right. Kira Connolly with the goal. Yeah. Shawnee's throwing out names that are certainly on the watch list for Athlete of the Week. We'll see if any of those girls made it next Wednesday night. But it's funny you mentioned the 2 goals in 10 seconds in field hockey. It's crazy in some sports. You can watch 80, 90 minutes and there's no scoring. And you also get 2 goals in 10 seconds
Yeah.
and rubbing your eyes.
I think there was the scorekeeper, too, didn't hit the button in time. So it was probably a little bit more, but at the game it said 7 seconds, but I'd say it was about 3 more. So I kind of estimated it 10. So, but it was 2 in a short period of time, and that was a huge surprise in that second half, that Lyman Hall, because they didn't get off a shot there in that first half.
And then they get 2 goals in 10 seconds.
They did. Yeah.
Go figure. In fact, Pete, I want to figure this out. Could you hand me that calculator there so I can figure it? Thank you. It's good to have props. I'm going to figure the odds on this calculator while Sean takes you through the highlights from this week's rivalry games, as well as the Southington Platte volleyball match on Wednesday night. Sean, you take it away, because it was my understanding there would be no math.
As Brian alluded to, Monday was a busy day in Meriden. At Falcon Field, it started with the Platte Maloney boys soccer. Maloney would win 4-0 with goals from Jonathan Sanchez, Noah Lopez, and Pete got a good shot of Brian Brazel's assist to make it 3-0. And right before the half, Ben Pierce scored from almost midfield to make it 4-0 at the half, and that's the way it would stay. Maloney would improve to 4-4 after that win, and it would continue to go the Spartans' way in the second half of the doubleheader, as Maloney would win 2-0 over Platte with goals from Regan Maloney and Ellie Pegrolotti, and that was Maloney's second win of the season. Later that night at Maloney, the 2 teams would battle on the volleyball court. And this one looked like it was going to be Maloney early on, as they won the first game, and they were leading the second game 24-19. And Platte fought off 5 game points, and they rallied to win 3 straight, led by Vanessa Idzik and her match-high 17 kills. Over on Tuesday, Sheehan and Lyman Hall battled at Fitzgerald Field, and it was a split there, with the Sheehan girls winning 5-1. Record-Journal Athlete of the Week, Olivia Dubik, had a hat trick, 3 goals. Sam Larkin also had a goal, and Kelsey Burr also came back from her injury with the goal. And Lyman Hall would get the boys' game 2-0. They would score twice in 10 seconds. So that was a split decision there in Wallingford. And we also had volleyball in Southington, Platte at Southington. Southington improved to 8-1 with a 3-0 sweep. Jenna Martin led the Knights with 6 digs and 4 aces.
Shawnee, thank you for taking us through those rivalry week games. A lot of highlights to go through. Thank you, and thank you for covering them, Sean. I had you and Kenny going all over the place this week.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun seeing a lot of those rivalry games. A lot of intensity. The records really were thrown out the window. It didn't matter. But it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, listen, folks, we are now in the 11th hour of our This Week in High School sports show. It might look that way upon my face. We just went through all of our football games for tonight, and also the playoff baseball games from today. You see that Sean and I are wearing our Red Sox hoodies. Well, hey, we're sticking with our team to the bitter end, and you never know how long you can wear your baseball hoodies before the season is over. So we keep them on for the time being, and we live at least for one more day. We're looking at Pete, and he's a Yankee fan. We could, interject something here about his Yankees, but we won't, because we don't want to see the Yankees do as poorly as our Red Sox now, do we, Sean?
I don't think anyone can do as poorly as our Red Sox.
True, but the Yankees are down 2-0 too, so don't be rubbing it in as you watch, folks. All right, enough baseball. You know where to go for baseball. We're here for you for football. We have Week 5 games tonight, and Shawnee, we're hitting the bye week, and I just did the math without the use of that big calculator. I did this in my head. We hit the bye week with all 6 of our teams. They have winning records. Not bad.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And today we saw a lot of good defense from our teams.
You're right, Sean. You kept saying to me, look at all these shutouts.
Yeah.
A lot of zeros on the board. Some stayed, some didn't stay. We'll do a quick rundown of our teams. They're all winning records, but some are feeling a little bit better than others at this point. Certainly feeling perhaps best of all, Southington there, 5-0. They shut out Hall 45-zip. You want to talk about a big zero. This is how many first downs Hall had tonight. In any language. 0 first downs, -9 yards. Southington 5-0. That defense is looking a lot like the 2014 version. Yeah. Very quick. I remember Sam Thompson talking to Pete and I in preseason saying they wanted to be a pack of coyotes. Well, you know what, dude? I have a lot of coyotes around my house over in Portland, and it sounds like them.
Yeah, no, they've been unstoppable this year. I don't think they've played a close game yet.
Not yet. We'll see what the second half has in store for the Blue Knights. Also very hot and feeling very good about themselves must be the Maloney Spartans. They beat E.O. Smith tonight 21-14 at Falcon. This is one of those games that could have gone either way. Maloney's up 14-zip at half. They allow E.O. Smith to come back and tie the game in the fourth quarter with some turnovers. But when it mattered most, LaRue Graham, a quarterback, throws a touchdown pass to Cruz Leonard, and Maloney pulls out a 21-14 win. That's their 4th straight win, all coming at Falcon Field. Maloney Spartans, man.
Yeah.
4-1.
Yeah, great start for the Green Machine for sure.
Now on the other side of town, Platt's licking their wounds this morning. They played a good game up in Windsor. I mean, this is the number 4 team in the state, and as you mentioned, talk about zeros. This game was scoreless until late in the third quarter, and Windsor broke off a 60-yard TD run, and that opened things up. Windsor goes on to an 18-zip win. It's a tough loss for Platt after losing to Wethersfield last week. They really needed to bounce back. The tough thing is they had to try to do it against the Windsor Warriors. It didn't happen. So Platt hits their bye week at 3-2. Also at 3-2 are the Lyman Hall Trojans, but they're kind of on an upswing. Here's Lyman Hall, Shawnee. Yeah. Everybody wants to forget the last 5 years, certainly, and this year's team is making us all forget the last 5 years. They're 3-2 after a 43-14 win over Bassick. Lyman Hall played good defense. They didn't give up any scores to the fourth quarter, correct?
No, they were sharp. They were up 14-0 after the first quarter. Randy McFarland rushed for 2 touchdowns, and Nick Santello passed for 2, and at 3-2, and they're rolling.
That's right. Austin Ruiz had a 51-yard fumble recovery, and Zach Kaiser, he capped the scoring. He's having a good year on both sides of the ball for the Trojans. Okay, those are the first 4 games. We're going to go to our last 2 games that both feature video highlights from our man Pete Paguagua. I don't know if you know this. Paguagua is Spanish for here, there, and everywhere. I looked it up. Pete started his night at Sheehan. Sheehan a little slow out of the gate this one. They were going up against the Creed Career Whitney Tech Co-op. Creed actually got out to a 7-zip lead. Yes. And we're a little surprised, but Sheehan, they dug in. They had a great game on the ground, and leading the way, Terrence Bogan.
Terrence Bogan, 3 touchdowns, 150 yards on 18 carries. That sophomore looks strong out there.
Yeah, only a sophomore. Sheehan with the win tonight is now 4-1. And they are 3-0 in SEC Tier 3. Might want to note that also 3-0 in SEC Tier 3 are the Guilford Indians and the Lyman Hall Trojans. 3-way tie for first. Just saying.
Yeah, no question about it. Great start for the Wallingford schools.
Yep. Okay, and our last game of the night was actually one of the better games of the night in terms of being a highly anticipated showdown. It was over in Cheshire, where West Haven, the number 5 team in the state, undefeated. They came in to face the Cheshire Rams, who were 4-1. Cheshire coming off a nice win down at Jonathan Law. But on this night, Kyle Godfrey and the Blue Devils, a little too much for the Rams. West Haven pulls out a 27-zip victory. This game also a defensive struggle early, right, Shawnee? 7-zip at halftime.
Yeah, field position battle back and forth. A lot of turnovers, a lot of punting, a lot of defense.
Out of defense. And in the second half, unfortunately for Cheshire, a lot of West Haven offense. Kyle Godfrey with 2 touchdown runs. Chris Chance broke off a big one late to seal the deal. So West Haven, they are on top of Tier 1, looking pretty good there. They're also on top of the Class AA playoff points. Southington's obviously high in the mix. Cheshire can't afford to lose anything else from this point on if they're going to get back into the Class AA playoffs for the first time since 2009, which was the last time they won a state championship. Okay, folks, listen, the midnight hour is fast approaching. I need my sleep, Sean. How about you?
Yeah, I'm ready for some sleep, but I do enjoy these football videos.
I do too.
Yes.
Pete does good work. Thank you for hitting 2 games for us, Pete. Again, here, there, everywhere, Peter Pagagua. I am Bryant Carpenter, sports editor of the Record Journal, alongside my right-hand man, Sean Krofssik, from Baton Rouge. It's my turn next, guys, to make a trip.
That's right.
I'll let you know what city I'm heading to. Folks, thanks for tuning in this morning. We'll be back next week. We look to take our game out on the cross-country trails next week, right, Shawnee?
Yeah, she and Lyman Hall, big matchup for Wallingford supremacy.
Yeah, and the Meriden meet is on Tuesday. We'll be there, and we'll be broadcasting live, hopefully from Wharton State Park, if the weather cooperates. That's it for tonight, folks. I hope you enjoyed This Week in High School Sports. Brian Carpenter, Sean Krofssik, on behalf of Ken Lipschitz and Mr. Pete Pagagua, be good.